Can a heart be too open? Feeling too forgiving or too worthy is bad? When you love yourself, you're loving the whole universe. Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to my podcast and my YouTube channel. I'm Caminada, a spiritual guide helping you, my fellow humans, to awaken, heal, and expand your consciousness. In the last episode, I talked about what blocks the heart and how to open it. But one question that I didn't address then was, can your heart be too open? And if so, what are the signs and how can you find a balance? This is what I will reveal in today's episode. Just a quick request before I get into today's topic. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're notified of my next upload. If you're listening to this on Spotify, please subscribe to my podcast. And if you're listening to this on Apple Podcast, I would really appreciate it if you could take a moment of your time and leave a review on my podcast. Because when you do this, you help me reach out to more beautiful souls and help fellow humans to expand their consciousness. In the last episode, I gave you the 3 uns that block your heart. I will place the video at the end of this video and also the link in the description. They are unresolved grief, unforgiveness, and unworthiness. If any of these rang true to you, I suggested that you find some healing modalities that could guide you into opening your heart. But the other side of the coin here is, can a heart be too open? And open not in a healthy and balanced way, I mean. Well, the short answer to this is yes, it can. But it's not so black and white as it seems. Many times the signs are very subtle, even though we're talking about too much here. Just before I'll give you the signs, I want to talk about underactive and overactive chakras. Chakra in Sanskrit means wheel. So imagine that an underactive chakra is spinning very slowly and it's very low in energy. We could possibly say that a blocked chakra leads to an underactive chakra and vice versa. On the other hand, an overactive chakra would be spinning in a much higher velocity than usual and overflowing with energy. So we could say that a heart that is too open is an overactive heart chakra. But now you may be asking yourself, so too much love and too much compassion is bad? Feeling all emotions too much is bad? Feeling too forgiving or too worthy is bad? Let me give you the 6 signs of a heart that's too open or an overactive heart chakra, and you'll tell me what you think in the comments, okay? Sign 1, you are a people pleaser. You give your me time to others and you want to please others, your family, friends, co-workers at the expense of your own well-being. People pleasing can stem from childhood traumas, as mostly everything does. And it is unworthiness masked as extreme niceness and generosity. Deep down, you may be looking for an external validation because you can't give that to yourself. You may be looking to fit in, you may be afraid of judgment, and you may be afraid to step into your authenticity. One of the hardest things for people pleasers is to set boundaries. It is very hard to say no. But you need to understand that when you say yes, when you want to say no, you are saying no to yourself. So start saying yes to yourself and assess where you need firm and clear boundaries. Sounds contradictory, but a centered, open heart sets boundaries. Sign number 2, you trust too easily. Seeing the good in people is okay, but oftentimes this can be used as an excuse for bad behavior or abuse. From a spiritual perspective, yes, we are all light and love. That's our essence. But we are not living in the spiritual dimensions. We are living in a 3D world, this human life. And here, duality is real. Some things are not acceptable, and some people don't have the best of intentions. Now, I'm not saying you should be wary of everyone you encounter, but when you're living from the activated heart center, you can feel when someone means well. You can feel their energy, their aura. Being led by the heart's guidance is always key. And this is the best tool you can have when you're in meetings, gatherings, friendships, and relationships. You open up too quickly. This is not just related to romantic relationships, but in general. You meet someone that seems nice and you instantly think you're soulmates. You open up about your life and your dreams and you want to move forward quickly and now. You always think you found the one or your soul family. Yes, it's wonderful when this happens. You meet someone, you have an instant connection. It's happened to me before. And I'm not saying that moving fast is a bad thing always, especially when both parts have the same feeling of connectedness. But sometimes you feel like you open yourself up too quickly to someone that you thought was matching your vibration, and that's not how the rest of the story goes. And perhaps because your vibration is too much. Underneath all that, there is a vibration of neediness and desperation, which, by the way, again, is related to unworthiness. Anyone can sense this kind of vibration, and they will instinctively move away from it. The best thing here is to practice that self-love. I know I always end up on the self-love subject, but it is true. That, matched with the heart's guidance, is your golden key. When you're loving yourself and you have a good feel of other people's energies, you can be who you are and open up, or set the boundaries if you need to. You are sovereign in who you are, and that, my friend, is very attractive. Sign 4. You are or have been in codependent relationships. A codependent relationship says, if you're happy, I'm happy. If you're unhappy, it's my fault. Or, whatever you do, I'll support you even if I'm sacrificing myself. Or, whatever you've done, I forgive you because I love you unconditionally. Now, this is nothing but conditional. A codependent person thinks they're loving unconditionally when everything they do is conditional upon other people's actions, behavior, mood, choices. And obviously, there are different levels to this. Extreme cases like being in an abusive relationship, and if this is you, I recommend that you look for a safe source of help. But also very subtle everyday things like not feeling your true self for most of the time, or not having the space to be and do what you love, which could potentially be sorted with communication. And I'll mention the self-love word again. This love chooses you and your well-being first, which takes me to the next sign. Sign 5. You love too much. Or you may have a distorted idea of the word unconditional. Having an overactive heart chakra sounds like, oh, I love myself so much. I love myself unconditionally. I choose me before anyone else. And there's actually nothing wrong with any of these affirmations as long as they're coming from your soul. If they're coming from your ego, this is sneakily transformed into selfishness and entitlement. Loving yourself unconditionally from an ego perspective, or I could say from a 3D level of consciousness, means the world is spinning around me. Everything needs to benefit me. Everyone needs to serve me. And if I'm not happy, nobody else can be happy. Now, loving yourself unconditionally from a spiritual perspective, or we could say here from a 5D level of consciousness, means that you see everyone else as an extension of yourself. Therefore, When you love yourself, you're loving the whole universe. And so you nurture this self-love. You know that the more love you pour into your cup, the more you can give that love to others, and the more refill you have. And like I mentioned earlier, loving someone unconditionally does not mean you accept bad behavior, you settle for less. It does not mean you forgive and remain in the situation. Sometimes this can be confusing because you think, well, I must love and accept unconditionally. I must forgive so I don't shut my heart. But at the same time, I need to set boundaries and choose me first. And I guess that most people sometimes forget that last bit. Unconditional love can also love from a distance if necessary. It can also forgive and leave. It can also choose you, even if it means you will upset others or even yourself. Now, if you think you fell into one or more of these signs, don't despair. Many times an overactive heart chakra needs awareness and better choices. Sometimes it takes challenging relationships and situations for you to find your heart center. Surprisingly, the balance that I'm talking about here is not just in the heart chakra, but it can be that you're too much in your lower chakras, in your human needs and 3D conditioning, or too much in your upper chakras in the higher states of consciousness, but forgetting or neglecting your human aspects. So can a heart that's too open be too much? I'll let you be the judge of where you are with that. Having self-awareness is really the biggest step in your healing journey, wherever you may be in it. And although I know every journey and every person is unique, I want to offer you two things that you can use right now to start connecting with your heart center and finding more balance in your heart. First, it is this meditation, the heart's guidance. You can listen to it now after this video and as many times as you wish. There are no side effects. This will help you connect with the center of your heart that bridges reason and emotion, ego and spirit, 3D and 5D. And second, if you're looking for something longer and perhaps more effective, you can rent my breathwork and meditation class called Heart Opening and Activation. In this 90-minute session, you will learn more about the importance of living from your heart center, and you will heal and release dense energies that no longer serve you, and you will activate your heart so that you will always be able to remain in your heart center. This class is available for rent at www.willcaminada.com/events, and as usual, I will leave links in the show's notes. If you resonated with this episode and you thought of a friend who may like this, who may resonate with it too, please share it with them and let them know you love them unconditionally. Again, I appreciate you subscribing to my YouTube channel or my podcast, and you can follow me on Instagram at GuyWill, where I share a lot of content on a daily basis. I'm also on the app Insight Timer. You can find me under my name, Will Caminada. Thank you so much for your virtual presence. And as always, keep shining your light. Keep your heart open and let love lead the way. I love you. See you in the next episode.